And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with the Game Boy Geek.
Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here. A while back, Northstar Games came out with a very popular party game that people are playing to this day at conventions and all over people's houses called Wits and Wagers. It's a fun little betting game with some crazy trivia that you don't have to worry about if you know the answer. Well, in about 2009, a little later down the road, a few years back, they released a family version of that called Wits and Wagers Family. It took the betting component out of it, made some of the questions a little more kid-friendly, and it's ages 8 and up. And it's 3 to 10 players. So we're going to take a look at how this plays, how it's different from Wits and Wagers, and is this good for your family, or can you play it even if you're playing with adults? Let's take a look. At the beginning of the game, everybody gets to take a dry erase board and a marker of the color that they like. Now there's only 5 colors in this game. It says it plays up to 10, because in that case you basically have 2 people per team trying to come up with the right or the best answer. And with those colors, each person is getting 2 meeples, a small little baby meeple, and a larger mama or papa meeple that they will be doing their scoring with. The youngest player starts first, and they will ask a question. The rules say you can ask the top question, but there's also a variant that they can choose which question to ask. In this case, in miles, how long of a line can the average lead pencil draw? And once that's asked, everybody is going to take their board and they're going to write the answer that they think. How many miles? So this is in miles, so let's say this person says 23, and when they're done, they sort of turn it over like that. Once everybody has placed their plaque there face down, and also look at the cool, not only the colors, a little artwork. You got a soccer player, a rock star, little flower girl, skateboarder, and a sun beach dude. Kind of cool artwork for the family. Once everyone has done this, it will all get flipped up and put in order. So this black plaque is in the game, and it's basically 1. It's always the smallest number available, and then we put them in order from lowest to smallest. Now if there's 2 like this that actually did have the same number, they get put side by side, and we have it there from lowest to smallest. What everyone's going to do is place both of their meeples big and small. You do not have to guess for your own answer, but you can if you like. So I might say, I'm really positive that my 18 answer is right. You're trying to get the right answer, the closest, without going over. It's like that game show, The Price is Right. So I might put a bigger, now remember we have a small meeple and a big meeple. The big meeple is going to be worth 2 points if it's on the right one. The small meeple is going to be worth 1 point if it's on the right one. So let's say I'm going to go there, and then maybe I put one here. So I think that either between 18 and 23 or between 23 and 67 is the right answer. Now, after everyone has placed both meeples, the person who read the question will then read the answer. And the answer is 35 miles. That equals about 45,000 words. So 35 is the answer. So in this case, the closest without going over was the green one here. Because it's 23 is the closest without going over, 67 is too high, it's in between here, so this is the winning answer. So the green person, first of all, since the green was the one that wrote the correct answer, they're going to get 1 point, and they put their bigger meeple there, so they're going to get 2 more. So green is going to get 3 points. So on the scoreboard, it's also dry erase. We just go 1, 2, 3. Green has 3 points. Now purple put their small meeple here, so they will get 1 point because it was on the correct answer. So purple would get 1, and that would be the end of the round. The next person clockwise would then ask a question, and you'd keep going until someone hits 15 points. The first one that gets to 15 first is the winner. And if it's a tie, the rules say that the youngest player or youngest team wins. We always like to just keep playing until someone actually wins. Now there's a total of 300 questions, 150 cards, 2 questions per card that you can scan through. I'll just run through a few of these just so you can get a feel for the types of questions that's in this family version. In what year was the Nintendo DS handheld video game console introduced? How many justices are there on the U.S. Supreme Court? What % of Americans say that ranch is their favorite salad dressing? How many states touch the Mississippi River? How many main characters on the Disney TV show Mickey Mouse Clubhouse? How old was King Tut when he took the throne of Egypt? How many Smarties came in Smarties roll? I don't even know that one. How many times a hummingbird flaps its wings in 1 second? What % of U.S. adults are afraid of snakes? What % of Americans went camping in 2008? What was the lowest salary of a Major League Baseball player in 2009? How many different ranks exist in Cub Scouts? What % of Girl Scout cookies are sold in Thin Mints? So from that, you get a feel for the types of questions. Sure, some of them might be a little dated with 2008, 2009 type stuff, but it's still an interesting game to play. All right, well, there's Wits and Wagers Family. I actually owned this game before I owned the original Wits and Wagers. And I did play it with my family, which was great. I then played it with people that were just all adults, and it was great. And everybody had a lot of fun at some gaming events I had. Since then, I bought Wits and Wagers, and of course, I love that as well. I will say, obviously, the betting component is what makes that very interesting, but at the same time, it's probably not something you want to really, maybe possibly teach your kids about. So the Wits and Wagers Family, I think it's a great version of this game. I mean, yeah, sure, there's questions that have Disney and some cartoons and things like that in there, but I didn't find it being like overly, oh, well, these questions in the regular Wits and Wagers are so promiscuous and so hard that, you know, they didn't seem to be that too much different to me. You know, some minor things here or there. So I could see this obviously being better for the family because there's no gambling involved. But if you find this game and you have a chance to get it, the questions are going to be fine for adults too. At least it was when we played it. So I think this is a great game. If you've got family and you're a little worried about the gambling aspect, this is perfect solution. If you're only going to be playing with adults and you love the gambling, obviously go with the gambling version. But hey, if you're going to be playing with maybe some older people, maybe grandma and grandpa, and they don't like gambling or anything like that, the family version is definitely a good way to go. So overall, it does provide a cool way to play Wits and Wagers, but in a small, you know, in a little bit different way. The one thing I did really like in this one is that when you get something right, you actually get 1 point for getting it right. Where in the regular Wits and Wagers, it's just what you bet on. So this is, you know, good, also good for families. So if they're getting it right, they're gonna be moving up the track a little bit faster as well. And you can still bet on your own or not. So anyway, good version of Wits and Wagers. I think it has a place. Definitely, I'm keeping it because it's good to have the kids play this version. And it's still very fun. I don't feel like it lost a lot of the fun of it because, you know, answering those questions, laughing at the answers, watching the kids move forward and back. It was still fun. Wits and Wagers Family, check it out.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.